So my name is Jeanette, interviewing.
Acting.
So my question to you is, what key experience have formed the person you are today?
I start with my mother. Single mother raising 3 kids. I was always inspired by her strength, and she was part of my motivation to be an architect.
And how did you become passionate and involved in architecture?
Well, it's again with in my experiences. We grew up very poor. Lived with my great grandfather in Juarez, Mexico, and he didn't have any floors, and I would have to carry water. I was 6 years old. I would have to carry water for cooking and bathing and all those different things. And I asked them who builds these houses and everything. And he told me when I was 6, he's like, architects do. And so I told him that I wanted, when I grew up, that I wanted to become an architect so I can build a house for him and a house for my mother.
And what are your core values and how they reflected in your practice?
But part of my own values is to listen to the client's values, or the person that I'm working with or serving in a way, because they themselves have a goal and a value, and at the end of the day they're the end users. And so I have my own set of values, but if I can share my values with you as I'm designing, that's great. But really, it's just respecting the other person's values. I think is just as important.
And what is your personal design process?
But if I can stop, think, ask questions, then that's part of my design process, because it lets me know and it lets everyone know that I've gone through that iterative design process, and you come up with a much better design.
How do you collaborate with other individuals to realize your impactful work?
Just being able to shoot ideas to everyone and even ask them like on their what they think. They may have an expertise that you may not, and then even with the client. Collaborating with them is so important, because once they feel that collaboration is happening, they feel vested. They feel like, oh, this is my design. When in reality, it's a collaborative design.
What are the biggest challenges you face?
Maybe it's going to be time, because projects come. They come because the client at that moment has money. Everything escalates, and the idea that they're going to have that money through the end of the project is very frightful to many clients. When time is so critical, that's when us as designers, we begin to make mistakes, because, well, then how are you supposed to stop and think and ask all the right questions when you're challenged against this idea of time?
What is the advice you would give to a young student, for example, me?
One of the things that I was never told as a student that I wish I was told is that there's many industries that an architect can be involved in that I didn't realize. I'll give 2 industries that I'm really like, oh, I wish I would have gone into those industries. The first one is actually, I didn't realize that Walt Disney hired architects to design like utopian cities and those kinds of things.
Question: has Peter Zimthor's architectural ideas and buildings impacted your own practice?
The way Peter Zimthor, I think, has impacted me as an architect was during our first studio of architecture school. We had to do a study on the bathhouse by Peter Zimthor, and we had to look at how he was using those spaces. So I'm not really familiar with his larger catalog of work, but that particular project, I really began to really appreciate how to design spaces and how people began to perceive a space when they occupy the space. And I think it was because of that one particular, like on my first semester, I think that's how I could accredit Peter Zimthor, whether people like him or not. I can appreciate that it was kind of one of my first times beginning to understand, oh, we as architects design spaces. and it could be this special.